must be stopped.
And then within moments we see the rain come pouring down and they're huddled in a corner and it's everything's against them, the environment's against them, the weather's against them, everything is against them.
It's like that romantic view of what adventure is, where you're just like having crazy exciting times, like fleeing from danger to danger with fear, and then the harsh reality of what it really is, it's like just trudging through the mist and rain, like you're cold, you're tired, you're wet, you don't know where you're going. Yeah. That's like what it really
get to where I am.
And I love, there's a great line from Sam where he's just like, I lost wisdom for no, I don't think. You know, even Sam, like the most optimistic person ever, is like, yeah, we're fucked, I don't know what to do.
I think you feel that when you get out of the planet, it's like the regular.
I see them, I can't separate these movies from the memes.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Let's take it up with 2 eyes and God, 2 eyes and God.
they did a ton of stuff visually, right? They did a ton of stuff visually that they couldn't. They didn't have time to do in the books, right? So when Gimli, when everybody meets Galadriel, right, and she sees the pain in his heart from when he walks out of Moria and what he saw there. I mean, it's like really explained more in the book, right? And that's the part where Gimli starts. I can't. My toes. Welcome back, everyone, to another The Rings of Power episode review. This is episode 4, The Great Wave. Because Numenor's totally doomed, man. Didn't you know that? Had to remind the audience right away. After watching House of the Dragon, comparing it to the show, it's like, well, comparing the Mona Lisa to one of my kids' crayon drawings of Spider-Man from kindergarten when they were kids. And the kids are older now and can probably write better than the writers of this show. Has it gotten any better? No! No, it's terrible. Galadriel is terrible. The dialogue, while we didn't get any, we didn't get any gems like why does a ship float in a stone sink or the sea is always right. But we did get there's a tempest in me. And they try to humble Galadriel, but a common trait with the Mary Sue is even her flaws are endearing, and she ends up being right all along. So what I said in the first episode is we're just waiting for the rest of the characters to realize how awesome she is. You know, next episode, wielding dual swords. Dual swords. I shit you not. Oh, we get it gets so much. This is full on Galadriel. There is a decent scene in this. There is a small decent scene, but it's not gonna help this. It's not gonna help the show. We're 4 episodes in. We are just starting to go somewhere. And it's not going to be very satisfying. Because Tolkien's lore, what there is of it, as I've said before, and I'm going to probably say that a lot, is reduced to Easter eggs. They basically threw in little pieces of it, and then shook it all up, and they just kind of use it whenever the hell they want. There's no order. Don't know what age we're in, what time we're in. But we did it. What we did get. What we did get. Allegory. We got allegory. We got allegory in Tolkien. Elf workers taking our jobs. Taking our lands! Immigration! Fuck off! Show! This is getting demonetized. This doesn't even begin the stupidity of this show. But it kind of does. I take that back. This begins the stupidity. This is in the first couple of minutes. So, see this guy right here? This is the guy that Halbrand, face planted into a stone wall. got a little black eye. His head would have been crushed. But he's totally all right now. His friend with the compound fracture and the other guy who died. Yeah, these are some of the Numenorians, the Union, the Numenorian Teamsters who attacked Sauron. I'm sorry, Halfran. And we'll start at the beginning. We get a little prologue of Miriel. It's all women, by the way, in this scene. So it's Miriel talking about hammering out the business of Numenor, because that is so Tolkienian. We're hammering out the business of Numenor. That's what she said. But on this day, we bless the children. On every day, we bless the children, and there's a bunch of moms holding little girls. There's no dudes anymore. But then
Best stay
a
on
giant
site.
wave comes over Numenor and takes them all away, and it's a dream.
I'll kill you. I have you.
And it turns out that the
Go.
thing that sets all of Numenor in motion. And Miriel mentions about constantly being judged, watched over, and judged. Watched over. But Numenor is like able to get away with what?
The impossible.
Comes in and throws down the hammer. And it's not even what they did really on Numenor. It's the invasion of the Blessed Human sacrifices, dogs and cats living together. So they're estranged from the elves. Apparently it's just racism, xenophobia. I don't really know what it's supposed to be. Is they want eternal life. They want what the elves have. But this guy's like, the elves are gonna come and take our jobs. They don't ever tire. They don't ever die. And
You are making this too easy.
this is the simplistic view of the modern Hollywood writer. And there are names attached to this that are attached to some impressive shows, but this shows you the power of show. Gilligan wouldn't let you do shit like this in the way of Bad or Better Call Saul. You have two inexperienced weaklings, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, running a show. It's like your coked up son taking out your Ferrari. That's basically what's going on. I mean, we're halfway through now. Yes, this is halfway through. And we're just starting to maybe go somewhere. We did learn something that we all knew. And it's moving at an absolute snail's pace. Sure, some of the dwarf scenes are fine. There's actually a really good one between Durin the third and fourth, towards the end. But it's just like, it means nothing to moving the story forward. It's just a very easy, hooked, emotional scene. Somebody pointed out in my Super Chat Square Up today, sorry, I forgot who it was, that back when Guy Ladriel got bullied, it reminded that person of Star Trek 2009. When Spock got bullied. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. It's almost the same damn scene. And weird. There's a connection there. Bad robot. Bad reboot. And the clowns running this show did a little work on Star Trek Into Darkness, you know, that cinematic masterpiece that was a repurposed and vandalization of the greatest Star Trek ever made, Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. And the same thing is going on here. This is why it reminds me so much of reviewing Star Trek Discovery. And I honestly, I shouldn't be surprised at this point with bad reboot. We saw it already with Star Wars, with Star Trek. Everything they touch, it's hollow. It has no soul. It's mystery box. Every time a scene is about like, oh, something happens, we have a revelation. Revelation, not relevation. Revelation. We go to another scene, just like a soap opera, and it's just buying time. And then again, you compare and contrast it to House of the Dragon, and whether you like it or not, you have to admit it's written better. There's layers. You have to pay attention. You have to be an adult. This one, no, they'll tell you everything. If you miss something, don't worry about it. Mark of Sauron, there'll be a big flamey mark to remind you it's the Mark of Sauron. Have you heard of him, boy? Have you heard of Sauron? That's in this too. That's in this too. So, Muriel foresees the fall of Numenor. Then we get to Girl Sildur. That's what I'm going to call her from now on. Girl Sildur, his made-up sister. You know, the one who's going to the University of Numenor on a scholarship? Oh my god! Yeah. Yeah, she's watching the Teamsters go. I don't know how the Teamsters go MAGA, but they make the Teamsters go MAGA in this. And there's a lot of xenophobia. And then Pharazôn. You see him with his son Kemen. It's just a dumb little scene that's supposed to set up their relationship. And he's obviously a very ambitious father, not really paying a lot of attention to his son, who's kind of like a trust fund. Not a very interesting character. He ends up hitting on Girl Sildur for a minute, and like they're setting up a relationship that like I could care less about, because even that good scene between Durin the third and fourth has no setup. They only give you the payoff, and we're good for that. There's a lot of that. So Pharazôn sees the Teamsters going MAGA and calms down with them. And but then riles them back up. Does his making Numenor great again speech, and he's all, first he's shaming them. He's like, oh my god, if the elves, the Valar were looking over us now, what would they think? What would they think? Well, we are the men that built Numenor, basically. They drop some names. One of them is kind of a big deal, because I believe it's the place where they do some of the human sacrifices. Kind of a big deal. But they just dropped a name right now. And like, we are the men that built this. No elf, no single elf is going to tell us what to do. We're the men of Numenor. Drinks on me. So, Pharazôn is a populist. It's supposed to mean he's a populist. And the guy who played Populist, it's supposed to mean he's a populist. And the guy who played Elendil mentioned that this was going to happen, that this is how they're going to portray Numenor. So, the Kingsmen and the Faithful, and it's all about mentality. All about envy, lust, turning your back on God. Turning your back on God. That's what Numenor is supposed to be about. We'll see if they stick with those themes. We'll see. I heard something weird. I don't know. I gotta verify it before I say it. I don't want to inadvertently diss anybody's religion, but that'll be next week.
I should stay hidden if I don't want to fight.
So we got our immigration allegory. We got a little MAGA Pharazôn. And listen, people could say, I didn't really say it. It's fucking there. It's there. It is absolutely there. It's in everything. It's in absolutely everything. We get it, Hollywood. Gotcha. Message received. Not in office right now, by the way. I'd worry about the guy. So, Miriel, by the way, they pick and choose
Are
when
you
they roll
lost,
their R's. It's only when they're pronouncing a name. Miriel is talking to Diagonal and Olympio, who's just basically sitting there, his hand over his balls and his head down, while the two girl bosses hash it out. And Guy Ladriel is trying to convince Muriel to go with her into battle in the Southlands to battle some orcs based on the word of a guy she met in the middle of the ocean on a raft, and then they ran into another guy in the boat. She mentions to Muriel that Sauron, Halbrand, is the Aragorn of the Southlands. He was the heir to the throne. Heir to the throne of the Southlands. He could unite the men to fight. And remember, this is a made-up character. So they made up an Aragorn to make him Sauron. I can't tell you how much that pisses me off. That is a purposeful subversion of expectations in the name of intersectionalism. Wish I never knew that word. By the way, it's a fucking made-up word. Dropping too many F-bombs on this one. Oh well, it's too late now. Muriel says no. Elendil does say something, and Muriel rolls her eyes and looks at Elendil and goes, "Oh, what is he, a runic emperor?" And he's all, "No, I'm just a petty lord." I'm all, "You are descended from a king of Numenor." What? So Muriel says no, and then they argue, and then she says something like, but it's the Tempest line. There we go. I believe the man you hold in dungeons no common throne. Oh, wait, I can't have this on. I'm in trouble. Oh my goodness. Stop it. So Muriel says it's a bold proposal, but no. And Guy Ladriel gets mad. She mentions that Numenor has chosen another path, so she knows what's going on. And we find out in just a moment. And she also says Sauron and Halbrand will face her judgment. And she demands to see the king, because she's only from the region. And apparently this gets Muriel a little mad. So after Guy Ladriel says, "There is a tempest in me," they actually lock her up at that point. And Sauron and Halbrand clowns her a little bit. She sits there and paces and paces and paces. And I'm going to jump ahead to the next scene because there's a lot of... One, no Harfoots. Thank God for small favors. No Harfoots. But lots of Don Lemonless and Bronwyn, girl boss. Bronwyn, girl boss. Lots of girl boss going on in this episode. Alright, there it was. Not if you're people, or you a castaway grasping for a handhold in a tempest. Are you a castaway grasping for a handhold in a tempest? There's a tempest in me! And then she gets locked up.
Pots, pots, and more pots.
Keep away.
So, to jump ahead, Halbrand, Sauron, is telling Galadriel to calm down. And then he goes, for a great warrior, your battlefield isn't a queen and a king. And I'm like, Guy Ladriel with his royal court. It is that's exactly she's royalty. She will understand So it makes no sense. No, none. Okay. But it doesn't matter. Because judging it, just judging the show on its merits, it's still shit. Again, all the lore out of this.
Won't get away that
Fully
easily.
acted. I'm talking telenovela, but I
He's
don't
in my sight.
overacted. Listen. But yeah, he goes, well, Green's court. Swords in your hand, cutting orbs, tying them up by their entrails, disemboweling them. Freaking kid. Just a mountain of orcs behind you. Got that of his best of life. Crush the patriarchy. See it driven before me, and hear the lamentations of the incels.
Now the end is near. This makes the final curtain.
Busted. Which she should have been busted for the minute she walked in. That's the way she was talking. And let's forget about the sedition that the guy who should have had his face crushed in was talking to his queen. Talking about his queen England in front of his council. Oh, a Socrates was in it, and he backfired. So remember the, well, you didn't watch it. Probably didn't watch the episode. For those of you who didn't watch previous episode 2, first time we saw a silver. And he took the blame for his friend. He got his friend. Because forced driving between Isildur going, you got me kicked out, dude. You're just crying about your dead mom. Because we had to find out about his dead mom. Then we're to Dawn Lemonlass. Dawn Lemon. Remember, last episode was called Adar. I'm going to say article. That's what I want to say. Adar. Or Adar. Adar. Another made-up name. He is the commander of the very white orcs. But we didn't get to see him. He was just blurry. And that's where it ended. Well, we get to see him now. And he looks like a proper elf. Bad guy, but he's an elf. He's just an elf. We're supposed to think he's Sauron. He's not. It's Hellraiser. It's not the elf. It's not the stranger. Not your mama. It's Hellraiser. The Dawn Lemonlass gets we see Adar go over an injured orc and treat him very kindly. Looks very sad as he kills him, but he's suffering. So, you know, he puts him out of his misery. Good go.
Get them!
So there's a conversation. Adar.
I'm going to kill you!
Going down Ripper, Flower, and that's when we get the line you certainly have. By Amazon. Lots of lies about the show. Lots of lies about how many people watch the show. Lies. So this made up bad guy who's supposed to be like I want you to take a message to the people who are occupying the tower that the elves had abandoned. By the way, his elf brethren are dead. Dead. And we just have, by the way, the fate still is so he lets him go to deliver a why am I talking like this? Let go. Deliver a very specific and important message. In other words, you wouldn't want a dog.
I see
to kill this person. To get pissed off if you let, I don't know, something happen to the guy who specifically let go to deliver a message. Please remember that. Good told little lies. Oh, what's the message? We find out in the next Don Lemonless scene. We don't find out. So it's always like, we're setting things up. Mystery reveal. Time for next mystery in the next scene. God, it's the cheapest story. It's gimmicky storytelling. It's storytelling for hacks. It's script by numbers. We go to the Tower of Penis. I don't know. It's a phallic tower, and I forgot the name of it. And that's where all the townspeople are, the southern people. I'll just call them southerners. They're not southern. They're southerners. People they could have actually been really with, decided not to. That would be a bad look. By the way, great shot of his leg. I don't know why I thought of that now, but so Braun was in charge. Of course, we've got all these townspeople, and then we have activists. Was great. Hair, great. Perfect. A little blonde there. So of course.
By the gods!
And
Don't do that again!
worry about getting some food. And Theo says her son says he wants to do something. Incel Noir. The guy who's like, you people! In the second one, I'm just gonna call him Incel Noir. They sneak out against animals everywhere. And they had enough time to like get their hats and their bags. A few animals slaughter and eat. So we can just go back where the orcs are. Go back and they're like, hey, let's go this day where they'll be like.
How are you doing? Oh, Jesus!
It can't. It just depends. Oh, and it's like in House of the Dragon, when the game made his the girls missed them. Sold it out. Much so Theo,
How much more can you take?
go back to town. They get some food. Theo decides to go into a tavern. There's an orc in there. Pulls out his sorrow that he has to stab into his right, and it was like, I'm not that's not killing him, but whatever. The sword comes out, fights him off a little bit. And then goes to the white thing. Takes off. At least it takes him. And I say incel nor because that's how they see it. But, that's how they see it. Think of MAGA. Oh, shit. You do that from me, do you? Aha! Hang it. think of manga when they people are saying, "Oh, the elves are gonna take our jobs." They wanted our fur. These are That's what they want. They have all the white men. We haven't even gotten to Celebrimbor, who's like a little.
I'm coming for all of
This is Celebrimbor of legend, and they have him being like, insecure over it. Oh, okay. They don't come out and say it, but I think that's what they're really going. No! Village. Orc in the tavern. Deal and then hide. Next scene, Celebrimbor over. Last episode, and he's staring down Elrond like a hot piece of meat. He goes, "You are very and something Elrond, and so clearly something's bothering him. And what's bothering him? Now they offer to work together. Oh, they show a tower of it. They go.
He's the one.
You can't see any actual doors working together. Just scouts. So it's okay. So, hello, Britain. Fucking door! How's it do? He's not talking to the door. It's Elrond.
Die fast.
Elrond says, "Oh well, I see what's wrong." So like Elrond just jumps down from like they don't show like they stop. Now there's all kinds of new things. Sock trailer, that's all they're doing. So we're gonna see more. For what season? I put it I mean, it's it's not always a this episode went about an hour and 10 minutes, so that's probably where they're going to get that.
That was a terrible.
So that one will be then we'll wait you know what, next season will probably be the fall of Humidor. Then we'll next overacting. Something's bothering him. And what's bothering him is Durin isn't talking to him. What's in the evidence of your father? And something's bothering Celebrimbor. Elrond can pick it up. And so can the rest of us, because it clearly looks like the guy's overacting. Something's bothering him. And what's bothering him is Durin isn't talking to him. Now they offered this deal to work together. Oh, and they show a tower of. They go, dwarves, elves working together. Isn't that great? You can't see any actual dwarves working together. You just see like a scaffolding tower. So it's more of the sweeping shots, and then we're in a row. Okay. So, Celebrimbor. Celebrimbor. Friend of elves. Name is on the fucking door! The fucking door of Khazad-dûm is not talking to the dwarves, it's Elrond. Elrond says, "Oh, well, I'll go see what's wrong. So, like, Elrond just jumps back from Region to Khazad-dûm like that. Like, they don't show, like, the map. They stopped the... They did the map. They stopped doing the map. They just phase out when that happened. But they didn't do it between Region and Khazad-dûm. Now, this whole Khazad-dûm thing, they're setting up Gudrun's Bane. They're setting up the Valor. You saw it in the trailer. That's all they're doing. So all of this, we're going to see more hype for one season. And I wouldn't put it past... I mean, it's supposed to be, unlike some YouTubers, or some YouTubers might think, it's not 50 hours a season. It's 50 hours. This episode went about an hour and 10 minutes, so that's probably where they're going to get that 50, right? It's going to be 8 episodes a season. Again, we're halfway through. So this one will be Gudrun's Bane, maybe. Then we'll wait a couple, maybe even next season will probably be the Fall of Númenor. Then we'll Forge the Rings, and then we'll have War of the Last Alliance. Fitting all these in one season, this is the kind of garbage bad reboot makes. It's for people who watch shit on their phones. And I know this is supposed to be grand and beautiful, and some of the effects are fine, but they come off bland. And, quite frankly, when the outside shots are better than inside shots. Inside shots, there's something wrong. The backgrounds look fine, but when you put people in front of them, it just looks fake as fuck. Especially when I'm watching it on a very, very nice screen, okay? Very nice. Okay. So Celebrimbor's like, Doran's not talking to me. I said, no way, you gotta go over there, little boy. And, they discuss Elrond's path a little bit, which they bring up later, which is fine. But, again, it's just talking about lore. So the hardcore fans are just hearing people talk about lore, which we could do ourselves. We're not really seeing it. We're not being shown anything. We're just being told everything.
Talking
And
in
the normies are
circles
going to
may
be like,
work on others, Socrates, but not on you.
I got a bunch of people doing stupid shit. I got orcs who shoot like stormtroopers. Not saying they were great. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Sure would have been nice for Legolas to catch a couple of those arrows. Boromir's like, what the fuck? Yeah, that comes later. We get the Don Lemonless catching an arrow. Remember that, arrow. That's two things you gotta remember. Arrows and Adar let Don Lemonless go to deliver a very important message. I think he might have said, guys, I'm letting this guy go. Don't ever. I wrote in my notes, Celebrimbor is weak. He's weak. Gil-galad. Nope, not in the episode. Barely in this series. Barely in this series. Very. Do you need to find a tweet, my friend? And he's starting to have some concerns about the show. These concerns sound a little familiar. You might find them familiar. God, I'm starting to be like a 14-year-old girl. Let's get to it. Here it is.
Let's go!
MVP. I was talking about this on WC when my so here's my friend. Don't want to engage with you. That's right to his shill. I'm sorry. Opinion. True. During the show. In the trailer. How Stranger is Gandalf. Sorry, pal. Although I don't think you're going to get Gandalf. Oh, no. Elrond walk next door to cause a overacting. That's still not the worst thing in it. Skylander is by far the worst thing in the show. Muriel, close second. Like, she's always flaring her nostrils. Like she's, I don't know, man. Some of that Numenorian food. Maybe there's a tempest in her. Too many Numenorian tacos. I don't know. But Disa and Elrond has figured out they're hiding something. They've been working together. By the way, they didn't even. Okay, remember the last time we saw them? Elrond went to Khazad-dûm with a proposal that we never saw get accepted. 2 episodes later, proposal accepted, and they're working, but they're still hiding something. What was in the mystery box? Well, we find out what's in the mystery box, and it's exactly what I said it was. Mithril. Mithril. I say Mithril? Mithril. So, she's hiding something. He knows it. He calls her out on it, and then she chews his ass out, but she's lying. She feels bad about it later. They don't... Okay, this is getting weird now. They don't show the dwarven children. First episode, they had the big masks over them. Second episode, they just have them talking out of their room. Once fine, twice, you're deliberately not showing them. Why? Why? It's a $1 billion show. It could be for effects. Why aren't you showing the dwarven children? But we did get to see her thick-ass leg in that cut thing. Okay. Well, Elrond is on to Durin, the fourth, and they are digging in the old mine for Mithril. It's very hard to mine, it's dangerous, and Durin's dad, Durin III, doesn't want him mining it. So there's forced drama. It's like, I'm mad at my dad, but we never see the order from that. We never see any conversation prior to this of like, don't do this, it's dangerous, I have my reasons, whatever. And just like with the wave to remind us that Numenor, hey, just in case you have assumed we're going to show you a premonition of a wave. It's the first just 2 times they do it. We're going to hint that there's a big Balrog. So it starts shaking, the mine collapsed, and Elrond and Durin, I thought, okay, we're going to get an action scene. They're going to go save some dwarves. They're going to, like, the mine collapsed, and you hear Durin run away going, there's 4 dwarves down there. I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe we'll see some elf and dwarf life-saving action. Nope. Next scene, everybody's fine. I saved it myself while Elrond watched and sat around and talked to Disa. God! So the thing, Durin makes Elrond swear not to tell anybody about the Mithril, and he gives him a little piece of it as a token of their friendship. The guy playing Durin III is by far doing the best job acting in this show. And you can tell that whoever's creatively involved is much more interested in the dwarves than
They'll
anything.
keep a sharp watch here.
So I would say these are less bad scenes. They still require so much more context. It's just a forced distraction. So we can go Mithril. Remember Mithril? It was in Lord of the Rings. Remember Elrond? It was in Lord of the Rings.
Here's where you die!
Same thing. And this has been going on for over a decade. So this is like how it's cultivated. There's a lot of very creative and smart people there. There are, but they're outnumbered 100 to 1 by simpletons. Just complete moronic simpletons because streaming and it's just yeah, sure. But for every Vince Gilligan, for every Daredevil, we get a JD, McKay's, and Jessica Gao, is that her name? I got some news for you. Last week. I got some news from Amazon. We can talk about it. It's like really vague, so it's not surprising. But I have a very, 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 very good report. A corroborated story that they ain't happy behind the scenes at Amazon. They're going to play everything all nice and hey, we're doing great. Everything's fantastic. It's going to be #1 on Amazon. We're going to keep, hiding reviews. We're going to keep deleting reviews on IMDb, a site that we own. Can't do much about Rotten Tomatoes. 25% owned by Warner Brothers. Probably has something to do with it. But heads are going to roll. Now, is it fired or demoted? Brand new writing stuff. That might have happened already. Brand new writing stuff. I made a video on that like 2 years ago. But yeah, Papa Bezos in town.
Just walk away, Misty. You shouldn't be here.
By the way, while Elrond was going to look for Durin, he just found a wall and knocked on it a few times, and the door opened. And now, there was no context of him being there before. If they would have done that, that probably would have made sense. But it was within the confines of this show. It was, I'm walking and I'm looking in a giant mine called Khazad-dûm, which will be Moria. For my friend Durin the Third, here's a wall. He says a little rhyme to it. Opens right up. Contrivances, conveniences, French dialogue. So Disa can't become
Come on.
like they said, she sings to the rocks. She does sing in this one. She looks like a gospel singer. So, and she pleads for the rocks to release the men who are still breathing. Fine. Durin, of course, saves them off camera. Don't even see the other dwarves.
Let's go.
And I don't know if they're trying to save money on dwarves, but there's a couple of guards that go up to Elrond, and one of them has a helmet on, and the other one doesn't.
Come on.
And I'm like, this is $1 billion show. There should be 50 dwarves. I mean, in the one scene where they broke the rocks, and then after they told us they were going to break the rocks, there's a bunch of dwarves in there, and it looked good. It did. But it feels like they're cost-cutting in places, and it just doesn't make sense because it's cost-cutting. Guy Ladriel's in a cage. This is where Halbrand says to her, for one, he's all, your pacing is one thing, but he basically says, he's about to give her some advice, and she goes, I hope you're not about to advise me on the art of war, because I am Guy Ladriel, slayer of orcs, warrior of the wasteland, scourge of the orcs, and just one badass bitch. And that's when he says, the Queen's Court would not go back. Come on. Exactly what the battlefield would be. They are absolutely, positively sure to remove anything remotely considered traditional feminine. None of them are motherly. Well, hey. Imperial holds a child. So what? Nothing.
Come on.
Pathetic. It's two dudes. It's two dudes. This is female empowerment in the modern day, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
We'll just have the women act like dudes.
Yeah.
We call ourselves progressive. By the way, Jennifer is the program director, runner, the big girl boss of Amazon Prime. She looks a little bit like Morgan Clark, older. A little bit like Guy Landriel. We get a Kathleen Kennedy self-insert with this. I don't know. I suspect so. Well, their facial features are very similar. Very, very similar. With like stringy blonde hair that looks like it was over bleached. Obviously, she needs a new stylist. Guy Ladriel is in the cage, the Queen's Court. So they're going to take her back. They're going to take her back, armed escort, back to the elves. There are, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, 5 Numenorian guards. By the way, Numenorians unequaled in battle. They're badass. Their armies defeat Sauron. Galadriel takes him out without breaking a fucking sweat, and then smirks. Hang on, I will get to that. And she puts them all in the cell. Puts them all in the cell. Let me, getting her out of the cell. Little 4'2" Morphic Clark is next to these 6'5" guys. I know she's an elf, but these are Numenorians. These aren't men. She comes out looking like Jennifer Salk. Yeah. And once the guy's about to put the cuffs on her, you can see her sizing up her. And then here we go. Yeah. This is who Warrior Galadriel takes out 5 Numenorian warriors and guards, all grunting. Oh my God, this is cringe.
Come on.
And yeah, you can see Farazan down there looking scared. He puts his sword back in his sheath and lets her go.
Off we go now.
After Guy Ladriel, and she doesn't even thing. It's like a couple of weak ass kind of karate chops, and then they see the two guys behind her. They just walk in the cell. I was like, what the?
Come on.
Oh my God! And how Sauron over there is laughing his ass off, and so am I. So
off
am
we
I.
go. Ella. The gates are shut, no trade can come or go, and an army of Spartans waits for its prey.
Only 4 episodes to go. I'm gonna make it. I don't know how Az and EFAP and all, I don't know how they do Batwoman. Something like this. Well, I don't care about that.
Off we go now.
Batwoman was a stupid character in the comic, and she was a stupid character on the show. But this is stuff I cared about, and I would have loved to have had a great Lord of the Rings show. And one could have been made with the right showrunners, patience, experience, in a different timeline. Maybe if we turn CERN on a couple of times, we'll be in a non-woke timeline. But a lot of good has come out of this, okay? I think it's woken a ton of people up to the bullshit that's going on with Hollywood, and then, of course, the attacks on Truly and everyone in this chat, everyone who's criticized this show, and it varying degrees. You don't have to criticize it as much as I do. Being called racist, and supremacist, and alt-right, and all this other shit. And now people go, wait a minute.
talking about the show. Now, I'll give you reasons why certain tools and messages that Tolkien would never put in. And I don't give a fuck what professor or scholar says you're a liar.
I should watch my step around here.
Especially the ones running around saying that this wasn't a mythology for England now. Oh yeah, you're lying. You're a freaking liar. Reject revisionist Tolkien. Reject modernity. But a lot of people are waking up to that, and a lot of people are buying the books and they're reading the books. Perfect. That's the best thing that can come out of this. I think it's actually a giant white pill moment for fandom. I think this is probably one of the best examples of get woke, go broke. There's now 2 firms that have come out. One I don't trust. Parent Analytics doesn't mention it. It's just based on hashtags and stuff. But it does back up the other on the TV that turns out there's power in its third House of the Dragon and fracking She-Hulk. The underperforming only did better than Miss Marvel's She-Hulk. So, Amazon, I name you liar. Prove 25 million people watched your first 24 hours. And until you do that, I'm just going to call you a liar. I'm just going to call you all liars. Jennifer Salt, you're a liar. Jeff Bezos, you're a fucking liar. Guinea Pig Patrick McKay, liar. So Guy Ladriel gets out of her cage, because you can't cage a female warrior like Galadriel.
Get away!
And Isildur goes and cries to his sister about getting his friends fired for that scene. Girl Isildur. I think her name is... I wrote it down. I forgot it. Amaria. But I like Girl Isildur. It's a little harder to say, but... Girl Isildur. So we find out that
we're setting sails.
Palantir,
Be there when we do.
Not name the king. They just call him the king. Is sick. What kind of sick? Dementia. Numenorian COVID. Numenorian monkeypox. I don't know. He's in bed. He's sick, and the Numen. Well, this is after which actually happens in the lore. He wants to. Go back to be faithful to the elves. And that doesn't go down so well. So, unlike the lore, the Numenorians, for some reason, named his daughter Queen Regent. Which makes no sense if he just did what other Numenorians in the context of this show. What he did was reason his strategy. So, I mean, that would be... But that's what they did. They named her. They voted Queen Regent Muriel. By the way, he doesn't look like Daddy. Doesn't look anything like Daddy. At all. They don't have the same hair color. They have the same eye color. Blurry, no? They got those. I don't know what Mom looked like. Kind of the same situation with female Frodo. Representation matters, especially in shitty shows. It's diversity the strength of the list.
Are you even trying?
But maybe it will be about this vineyard. So she escaped her chambers. Oh, she escaped, and everybody's like, "Elf has escaped." And what does Guy Ladriel do? Go right into the Queen and King's chambers. That's how we find out about the King. She just breaks into a fucking window. No guards, no nothing, and she is just badass. Oh my god, did you see how easily she got in? Oh gosh. No challenge at all. She is just great. Oh, what is her come moment's gonna be? But she's gonna start being nice. Is that where they're gonna humble Galadriel? She's gonna start being nice. I have to bring you to another tweet that I thought was pretty damn good. I thought it was funny. There we go. Hey, I did like 3 minutes of show prep today. This is from Coop Lopresta. Shout out to my man Celeborn. Where's Celeborn? Well, we wouldn't want to rob Galadriel of her essence there. According to Rings of Power, Galadriel is the most insufferable, toxic, unlikable, arrogant, conceited, self-centered, retarded elf on Middle Earth, and one of the most incompetent leaders you could have the misfortune of serving under. Yet between then and Peter Jackson's Fellowship of the Ring, she marries Celeborn and turns... Well, she's always supposed to be married, but let's roll with this. She marries Celeborn and turns into an absolute pinnacle of loveliness and grace, adored by all, powerful yet humble, tactful, respectful, wise, and compassionate. A complete 180 for the better. And all it took was putting up her sword and getting married. The shrew has been tamed. It's unintentionally based. Celeborn, we salute you. I thought it was funny. Hey, it's about as true to the lore as the show is. But the show is not connected to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, but yet people keep trying to tear down Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings to justify this show. It's weird how some people's brains work. I'll be okay. Trust me. It's very cathartic. Get to the super chats in just a bit. Almost done. We're almost done. Isildur cried to girl Isildur. And we get a back and forth between Muriel and Galadriel. Help us in the Southlands. I can't help you in the Southlands. Your coming is started the doom of Numenor. Yeah, so she takes Galadriel after she sees Galadriel as a threat. She truly does. She sends her guards. She escapes the guards, breaks into her room, and then she's like, I'm just going to tell her everything because she's a girl. Go power, let's go, go! So we see a Palantir. Because remember the Palantir from Return of the King and Fellowship of the Ring that Saruman had, and 7 are missing, but like they're not supposed to be missing, or are they missing at this point? I don't know, because I don't know what time of Numenor I'm in. What time is it in Numenor?
Get out of here,
Galadriel puts her hand on
I should try to stay out of sight.
And she sees the same thing that Muriel did. I mean, they couldn't have shown us anything different. They just showed Galadriel in the same position Muriel was in, and we saw the way. So they repeat the information without giving us anything new. Ooh, but all the hands are going to go down. Did you see her put her hand on the Palantir and the crystal cracked across the screen? It was such a cool visual. I mean, the story is completely retarded between the characters, but it was such a cool video. I need to deal with this. With the seal. The vision is the downfall of Numenor, which is the same vision we saw in the first part. So now Muriel knows and Galadriel knows. And I'm going to paraphrase what Galadriel says here. But she basically tells Muriel, you know what it's like to be me, to see everything that nobody else can see, to totally be right. You know what it's like. Girl, we need to team up. Plus, our island is doomed, and Galadriel says, no. Some things that Palantir shows you do not come to pass. Remember that line from Fellowship of the Ring? Fucking retarded. Ooh, I just hit Thanos. Because I don't even need my highlighter pen anymore. It's a pretty good throw for left hand. At least I didn't break a monitor. And then she says it will come to pass because you coming to Numenor has set the destruction of Numenor in motion. And then they no, it doesn't. Galadriel has never been Galadriel. She didn't set shit in motion over there. She had nothing to do with it. It had everything to do with faith and envy and greed and decadence. But no, it's going to be about xenophobia, isolation. By the way, is Numenor isolationist? They're making a big deal. They finally said our Southron brothers, they should have colonies there already. Colonies everywhere. I would say they have a previous alliance with Gil-galad, but the thing they had an alliance over hasn't happened yet, although it should have already happened because it happened before Tormiriel was born. The Rings of Power should have been, like, forged for thousands of years already. But we've gone over that. So she says no. Alright, so we're back to Bronwyn. And, Incel Nor comes back with the food but doesn't have Theo. Theo is still back in town. And he decides to, he had been hiding out from the orcs. He hid in a well while it was the day, and now it's night, and all the orcs are running around, which is the worst time to come out. And he decides to come out at night, out of the well. By the way, he hid in a well, did a pretty good job, and then an orc, like, drank out of a bucket and dropped it back in, and it hit him in the head, and the orc heard it. But then he jumped under the water and didn't hear it. But then when the orc walks 3 feet away, he, like, jumps out of the water louder than being hit by the freaking bucket, and the orc doesn't hear it. Fine, whatever. Then he decides to escape when it's dark. So we all know that Adar let Don Lemonlass go to deliver a very specific message that he probably doesn't want interrupted. Right? So we know at some point Don Lemonlass is going to save Theo. I don't think he's going to die or anything. So he runs from some orcs. He almost gets caught. And then Don Lemonlass comes and saves him. And then all the orcs start attacking Theo and the guy that Adar wanted to deliver the fucking message. So he's either a completely incompetent leader, or the very white orcs are retarded. But the show is retarded. Because they could have killed... Now, of course they're not going to kill Don Lemonlass. We know that. He survived this far. He's had so much plot armor. Well, believe me, the plot armor is thick on this one. So they chase after Theo and Arendir, who magically run into Bronwyn somehow. They find Bronwyn, and now they're after all 3 of them. Shooting arrows. Don Lemonlass catches an arrow like he catches misinformation on CNN, and he shoots it back, and then they run and they run and they make it into the daylight. The daylight that the orcs were kind of fine going and grabbing people in the previous episodes now don't want any part of. They don't even want to shoot their fucking arrows in the daylight. Remember the arrows? Remember the arrows. So Arendir's got his blade up and he's standing there in the middle of a fucking field, and all she had, 1 arrow right there in the chest. He's dead. Orcs are like, I want to wait till he starts running. Theo's injured. So let's wait until him and Bronwyn get away before we start shooting and missing badly with our arrows, because we can't step a foot in the sunlight even though we have all our same shit we had on previous episode. This is fucking dumb. This is dumb. But thank God Don Lemonlass was there to give his big revelation, his big message to the townspeople who are hiding out. That they all bend the knee to Adar and relinquish the lands. They'll live. They'll die. That's the message that we've been waiting all episode for, that we all could have
Come on.
before Leto finished his sentence. I have a message for the people.
Come on.
Old man who was in the bar, the bartender, evil white male.
Ella.
Evil. He's the guy who had the sword hilt. So he had been using it too. The
Off we go.
sword that's totally not Halbrand. Sauron. And that's where we end the episode there. But it's this big, like, it's all a lead up for that trailer scene where he goes, "You know where that sword comes from? You know the name Sauron. You heard of it, boy." The boys go, "Yeah, what does all this mean?" "Save your strength. We'll talk about it in a future episode." That's how it ends. So it's trying to make you think that maybe Theo, Sauron, or this guy knows about Sauron. And they talk about the comet, the coming of the comet, which makes you want to think the stranger is Sauron, because they said that marks the return. I guess this would all mean something if they had heart, soul, characterization, writing, depth.
Come on.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Come
It's
on.
just it's just and then Sauron, and then remember Lord of the Rings, and then remember Fellowship of the Ring. Mithril, you remember Mithril. Can't wait to see a Balrog. Oh my God, the visuals are great. Can you name a line you liked? No. Can you name some lines you didn't like? There's a tempest in me. What makes a ship float and a stone
Let's go.
sink? The sea is always right. There's lots of shit lines I can remember.
Come on.
The one scene that I thought was okay was between Durin and his dad. Which there was no setup for it. Durin is his mind got shut down because the Mithril is dangerous to mine. But we never see King Durin, and I'm forgetting the actor's name, but he's good. And he looks like a dwarf.
Come on.
We never see him get mad at his son and say, "Stop mining," and give his reasons. We just see Durin III getting mad about it. So they make up at the end. Because Elrond gives him a little speech like, "Hey, my dad is shepherding a star across the sky right now, and I'm never going to see him again, and I kind of wish I would." Good, like, little gratitude.
They'll be watching for us.
But there's no setup for it. So he goes in and goes, "Forgive me, Dad. I was prideful." And then Dad's like, "Nothing to forgive. Boy, even when I'm mad." But there was no setup for that. And then they basically say, "Hey, you know, Elrond and Gil-galad wanted something. Why don't you go to Aragon and find out?" So that proposal that Elrond went to on the Doom 4 in the second episode, we still don't technically have a payoff to that. Oh, there's Mithril. But we don't know what they want. We don't know what Celebrimbor, Grandma Brimbor is building. Little hint. It's not Rings of Power. I was told what it might be, but then I forgot. So I'm thinking it's going to be something along the lines of rolls maybe, or a derivative, something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to hit up my notes that are somewhere in this book. So Aaron Deere gives the message. This is where we leave. So Galadriel is leaving Numenor, and Muriel is seeing her off, and then she has to give a speech to her people. Galadriel, Elendil, you know, always the nice guys, like, "Go in peace, Galadriel," and she just freaking stares at, like, "Fuck you," and leaves. Doesn't even say goodbye or anything. I mean, like, this is the worst. This is worse than Brie Larson and Captain America. She would be terrible as Captain America too, but she's just as bad as Captain Marvel. This is, I mean, it's worse than Sonequa Martin Green as Mikey Spock. This is the worst, most insufferable, amped up, modern, female empowerment, girl boss cringe I have ever seen. Ever seen. With a beloved character. And we're seeing it twice. That, like, some people might give a crap about She-Hulk, but, like, I really like She-Hulk in the comics. It's top 2 female characters, top 10 characters that I like in comic books. I like She-Hulk. I hate what they did to her, and I hate what they're doing to Galadriel. Frickin' hate it. So, of course, Tarmiriel last minute changes her mind and says, we are going to stand with Galadriel, and I'm not going to ask anybody to go into war anymore that I won't go into myself. So as Queen Regent, with absolutely no heirs, no husband, I'm going to go out and fight for Numenor. And I ask any man or woman to fight and serve with us.
We need to check that body.
And not just like serve on a ship. No, get your move armor on and fight. Men and women.
I got him now.
The women weren't fond of that. I was told, I don't know this, I was told it was so I got so close to my warrior Galadriel leading an all-female army joke that I made 2 days ago. So our girl bosses have teamed up like I told you they would because Velma and Louise moment, Tarmiriel, Queen Regent and ruler of Numenor, is going to go out into battle. Armor on, and she's going to face orcs. And it shows all the Numenorians saying, like, who will go with us? And they all say, hey, that looks like Alright, that's where the episode ends. Let's get to you. There's probably so much that I missed. That's for the video. That's why I do the videos. But I thank you all for being here with me tonight, all 5,400 of you maniacs. The episode started early. The episode started early. It started 20 minutes early. Maybe even earlier, but that's when I caught it. That's how I was able to make. I'm sure our boy Shad has like 20 pages of notes. I do the shorthand Helen Keller script, so it's like 4 pages. That's a lot for me. Page. There we go. Let's get to you. You. For those of you, how many? Okay. I can't put up a poll, so I'm just gonna say yes or no. Did you see the episode? Yes or no. Somebody says, I just got here. Hey, I'm keeping this up on the channel, so you can rewind, catch my recap if you missed it. It's stay up on the channel. All these are going to stay up on the channel. This is how I used to do it. I used to do a live one. A couple days later, I did a video. Exactly what I'm doing. I mix in House of the Dragon because, quite frankly, I'm enjoying it. So I need to mix in something I enjoy. Especially after watching She-Hulk this morning. God. That was bad, too. And I need to see Cobra Kai. I really need to get around to see Cobra Kai. Alright, let me get all this going. Sorry, probably should have this set up, but I didn't. Hope you're all doing well. I'm doing fine. I love laughing my ass off at this stuff. It is, when Galadriel beat off 5 Numenorians without breaking a sweat, then when Halbrand did that little... No, she did it to Farazan. She didn't do it to Halbrand. She did it to Farazan. She did that freaking SJW Marvel sweat. And I'm like, oh, there is no hope of this show being good. None. abandon it right now. It's 4 episodes in, and it's hot garbage. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to title this right now. Hot garbage. Hang on. Hot garbage. I'm going to capitalize garbage. I want to make sure I spell it right. Garbage. There we go. Boom. Hot garbage. The Grizzly. $5. Probably skip the whole series. I'm so Galadriel. I'm not watching any of this trash. You earned it. All right, now I'll go back to the chat. No. I see a no. Somebody said they beat off. Well, that's time much better spent, to be honest with you. No. It's so bad. Smirky. No. Cobra Kai was great. No. Never. No. Hell no. Yes. And I feel really bad. Oh my God, that's great. That is great. No. Hell no. No. Not yet. No. Hulk. Yes. No. I'm sorry. The yes. No. So it's like there's some few yeses in there. They're gonna get close. They're gonna come up right up to it and not do it. But they're doing it for the like specifically for shippers. Believe me, when like marketing takes over and producing takes over a lot of these shows, so they do account for shipping and they account for memes. I shit you not. Warren Hughes for $20 says Adar might have been taken from Tom Bombadil, whose ancient name was Larwain Ben Adar, as mentioned in the Fellowship of the Ring chapter, The Council of Elrond. Also, Valandil was Isildur's son and third High King of Arnor. And I guess named after his bro. Who got kicked out of the by the way. Good job. Named after his bro. That he got kicked out of the Norian Navy. Isildur's a dumb shit in this. Elendil is stately and like properly cast as Elendil, but they've completely cut them. The guy playing Gil-galad, if they didn't give him a mullet, probably would have been fine in the role. Celebrimbor is horribly cast. Elrond, horribly cast. Durin the Third, good. Durin the Fourth, good. Those are fine. Guy Ladriel, terrible. Like, got a little something in her nose right here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at Joran right there. Thank you, Warren Hughes. Gandalf the White. Love your shirt. Thank you. Glows in the dark. Glows in the dark. This is a good shirt. I like it. I've got 2. There's a good sticker going around of it, too. I can't remember where I got it. One of those shirt places. I saw it and I'm like, that's cool. I need that. Do you think Don the Lemon Party will break his chains and save them all? Yes, he kind of did, Christopher Miller. For $5, he kind of did. Bottle Thrower for $10. Is there an environmental message regarding Mithril Angle? Not yet, but I wouldn't put it out. I mean, there is an environmental message in Lord of the Rings. It's conservation, not like global warming. It's conservation. That's the one, Tolkien watched his beloved countryside get demolished by industrialization. And nobody's down with that. I get that. But will they make it a modern message of environmentalism? I wouldn't put it past them. The dirt is always right. Next episode, dwarves. 10 for $1.99. TEN. The dirt Ninja, $5. Bree Larfoot. Com Pagan for £2 British. Proper money. Oh dear gods, that's Smeagol in the thumbnail. No, it's not. That's Galadriel. It's Ian Peter Davidson says it's Tolkien, not Tolkien. It's Token, not Tolkien. That's probably what you meant to say. You mentioned once that if Stargate doesn't get remade in the next couple of years, it'd be safe. Well, Amazon just bought Stargate. Oh, that it's not safe. Tycho TMA1. We are what are we currently covering now? This is the holy grail of the woke. This is the woke holy grail. They got it. They fucking got their little scummy little claws into this shit. They've been circling this one forever. Now the good news is, this is just the second age. It's pretty crap. It's not connected to Peter Jackson. But they'll try to remake Lord of the Rings someday. They will. They absolutely will. Right now it's kind of in rights hell, and that is good. Stargate's got a long way to go. Hopefully it doesn't get messed with. Okay? John Q Ghost, thank you for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate it. Alfred B228, $5. The Taming of the Galadriel might be worth watching if they did that for the next season, right? I agree. Oh my god, they started with allegory. I cannot. The showrunners came out and mentioned that Tolkien hates allegory, and they did allegory! Considering, I want this shit to be good. But if people get fired for purposely making like this because they are sacrificing yet another franchise on the altar of intersectional agenda, I got no sympathy for you. You deserve to get fired. You deserve this from the audience. You lie to your audience. You lie to us. You lie to the fans that you paid for. What the fuck do you expect's gonna happen? How's G4 doing? There's some get woke, go broke. Well, this is bigger. Waiting for this to load. Here we go. Ryan for $25 on the Streamlabs side. Circumventing Mama Susan. If you need a seal clap clip, wow, I'll say that 10 times fast. Just get what's his name clapping from the Frost brand. Oh, Adam. What did Az call him? Oh, I forgot. Adam Sessman. He had a better name. I forgot what it was. Smash that button. Appreciate that. Lady Fossilon for $5. Thank you. Also, some artists with songs and of poems and other Tolkien-inspired pieces. Carolee, Lady Ocelot, Baron and Luthien, Ariel, Luthien Song, Mandos, Arwen's Choice, Clan, oh god, that one is like beyond me. Gregorian style poems. That's awesome. I'll play. I'm gonna find and play a song at the end from one of my favorite things in the world, the BBC Lord of the Rings Radio Toronto Museum. It's one of my absolute favorite things in the world. That thing is every time I go on a ride, I'm listening to that. We're gonna play a song. Dark Resurrect. $50. I will never thank you. I will never stereotype.
Let's hope no one notices me here.
giving up yet.
But I feel better about it. I'm criticizing the work done. I'm criticizing the show that I do not like it. I do not like it. It's good. It's trash. But it wasn't easy. Aragorn is within the realm of possibility. I don't know why they're not thinking about that. Feel about it? Not great, but I mean, pissed off Amazon and had $2 billion companies like tearing each other apart, taking each other down. I think some good can come out of that. They are doing the animated War of the Hero, and I am looking forward to that. The anime. As long as it doesn't go like, you know, it's more of a full on. You know what I'm saying? Its power is clearly trash, but do you guys think that the War of the Hero movie will be any good at all? Michael Storm, number 5. Origin based on it? I think there's a possibility. I do believe Philippa Boyens is writing it. So there's a chance. I mean, she's written some duds, but she also wrote the greatest trilogy of all time, so I'm going to give her a chance. I also met her. Lovely lady. She came into my comics. Dunedain's Bane does not emerge until 1980 of the Third Age. Well, he's going to make another appearance. Why did they build a forge? This Caleb Dixon for $2. We don't know yet. But it's not for a while. And big for $5. Wait, didn't the rings have a lot to do with the awakening of the Balrog due to the influence of Durin? Yes, but that's not going to matter in this show because we're going to get the Balrog before we get the rings. But we also got Miriam before we get the rings. And a Lindy. And a Sildur. And Dave Dow for $4.99. You see, you've been told many lies. Is to the rings what? It's made from shit. Is to Discovery. You've been here during the Star Trek Discovery reviews when we had the greatest single line. They were talking about the replicator food, and one of the guys, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know how they would not think I would use this in every Star Trek video. He goes, it's made from shit. And that's how I started pretty much every one of my Star Trek reviews. both writers are admitting the truth. They are. And what I didn't mention in the previous episode, it hit the cutting room floor. We got the past is dead. The past is dead line last episode. John Kennedy for $5. Hope Elrond's son Arwan shows up, questions his assigned gender, and Kelabimbo gives him bottom surgery. Then gender reveal and Arwen appears. Kelabimbo. Oh my god. I just see an elven Brittany Venti. Kelabimbo. Addie McKinnon. I have to get up and go to work tomorrow at 6 a.m., but I'm here with you, Gary. In the middle of the night because I am so very incandescently angry at what they have done. Please keep up the fight with the foe. Oh, I'm just getting started. Dwarves, okay. Rest, cliche. Numenor guards are a joke. Totally. Space cake. That almost rhymed all the way through. Yeah. Was that your attempt at a haiku? I don't know. Taking the 2 British pounds. Flag Ninja, $5. Jar Jar Abrams gave a TED Talk about the mystery box. I lost faith in TED Talks after that. Yeah. I put that in one of my Star Wars videos back in 2019. I think I need to bring it back. I think I need to bring it back this video, which I will do. Long story short, he does a whole TED Talk on what the mystery box is.
I need to stay hidden.
In the grand tradition of the mystery box, never answers the question. I think he thinks he did. But when he walks away, you're going, so what's a mystery box? And what Jar Jar's good at is bullshit. He's really good at bullshitting people. He's a snake oil salesman. Is the message Snape kills Dumbledore? Yes, it is. Phil, Solo, inspiring girls to do. You know what the best part of the Doctor was such a great, positive male role model. Used his mind. Didn't use violence. Used his. By the way, cleverness gets disrespected. It's not clever. I want one that's wise. Okay. Clever's not so bad either. You have more emotion in your voice than Galadriel, or so Louisiana, and my wife loves Japan. I'm probably going to end up going out there because I want to go to the hot toy store. I'll starve to death. Oh, no, you guys have beef, so I don't need seafood. Ride your trains. Sounds cool. John Kokozo for $5. The best part of the show is the Durin Khazad-dûm arc. The reveal of the Mithril was pretty good. I didn't laugh. I saw it coming. The movie said. All those actors work well together. I don't know. Robert Armano is not a very good Fevron. But, like, I'll give you a Durin the Third. Hero of Moscow. Again, thank you for the $5. We don't judge Russians here. Torrin McCabe, the show is for children. To convince the Queen Regent Galadriel just has to use magic word, please. Lord of the Rings. There is a signifiers in case of trouble. Why don't the elves have them in the Southlands for $5? You mean beacons? Well, then, how are the very white elves dig the giant 25-mile-long trench with white fabric tents over them? If people have beacons, how are they going to do that? Just got HBO, gonna rewatch the Lord of the Rings movies. Good. Hail to the Fellowship and hail pineapple on pizza. Oh, aliens. It's for $5. Not deny until you try. John Thomas for $10. Gary talks about how our Farazan saying "we men of Numenor," and all I could think of is Holy Grail singing, "We're this Knights of the Round Table." Yes. Or we are the Knights of Neat. I can't imagine this thing going for 5 seasons, Grandpappy Fist for $2. I can't either. Based on what I heard, they'll pull the plug on this. I mean, or the funding is going to get cut, and this thing is going to start. We're going to see cardboard sets pretty soon. This happens to shows a lot, even ones that are quote unquote hits. Remember The Expanse? The Expanse held all these nice sets, big full casts. By the time it was done, they were rushing through scripts, meet to an actors, and everything was in a ship. And there was 2 or 3 episodes where Naomi was gasping for air. It just turned into crap. Huron the Steadfast for 5 Canadian pesos. Numenorians had settlements in Middle Earth, and mixing with them well before the fall of Numenor. I don't understand why they cut that out. Can't hear the message. It's also, maybe they don't have the rights. I think they have the rights to so little. Matt Geimer, $4.99. Amazon put the HR department in charge of this entire series. The writing, the casting, the costume design should win all the awards. I totally agree. I think the HR department runs freaking Hollywood. Jeff Greer for $10. I wouldn't be surprised if they make Sauron a Trump analog considering current Hollywood trends. I wouldn't either. If they inject it into effing Numenor. We have Pedro Rodriguez for $5 Brazilian. I'm just surprised Elrond didn't say, "Good thing I learned how to use lips from a long distance years ago." Yes. But he did manage to see when Durin was sneaking around on him, he was able to see because he has the ability to see him. Have you seen the cult classic Love, Honor, and Obey with Jude Law? Check it out. It's on YouTube. A lot of classic from early 2000s. I'll check it out. I like Sky Captain and The World Tomorrow. Dave Dahl, $4.99. Reminds me of the first season of The Expanse, except it's incompetent. Oh, I just brought that up. This was not as painful as all of season 2 become. No.
I don't want to be spotted here.
All these guys have never read Patrick Chester for $2. A great many of them have not. Speaking of immigration, LOL, kind of ironic seeing what happened in Martha's Vineyard today. It says raid customs firearms. Yeah, I know. Hey, some people, we had 50 people leave the socialist paradise Venezuela and went to Venezuela. So a ruin of House Roundhead for $9.99. Okay, Gary, give me your best angry Guy Ladriel impression. I would love to meet the actor who plays Guy
Just
Ladriel.
die!
Drunk and have a I got Tourette's with her Are you about to advise me on the art of war? Patrick Chester for $2. My Catholic priest school has a class on told you. Good. Good. It will be far more accurate and informative than this, and that makes school cool and fun. I wish I would have had that in school. Arizona anime fans, $5. It's not just elves. Hybrids in New York, elves equal minorities in the Southlands, right? Where the Southlands and orcs are only missing the white hoods. Thank you. Well said. John Walsh, thank you for the $1 donation. Christopher Mays for $9.99. Is Isildur more or less annoying than Wesley Crusher in Season 1 of TNG? Ugh. Not as annoying as Wesley Crusher. No. Not yet. He's not in enough. But Quill, more annoying than Wesley Crusher and Isildur and Blood in this world.
Yeah!
I had a dinner with that guy. Like, I was hanging with a so he had dinner with us.
What an awful way to go!
Have no chance! It's clear!
You need more training, Eagle Bear!
How is that possible?
You have no chance!
Give up now. Episodes that were
I fought goats with them!
Eagle Bearer.
Something like
I'll share in your
Live to see the...
$10. Remember what they did to Lovecraft with Lovecraft.
Alrighty, let's chill with Sparta for a little bit.
About civil rights and black power. Yeah, the Eldritch God of Evil. Yeah, he only lost
A bad day for Athens! A glorious day for Sparta!
Hell yeah!
Renato Monto for 10 Australian dollars. That's what you can do. We ride together. Rap. Or ruin. Prevalent, 112 for $5. I work nights as a mechanic and these streams are nice to catch you live. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome. You're a tech, huh? I used to work in the auto industry. I worked in the auto industry for 15 years. I was a parts guy. Did turn some wrench too. Very, very respectable work. A great trade to have. If you're looking for a trade, that's the one to get. You make bank doing that stuff. You get good. Average tech is making over 100K a year in the Bay Area. 150K a year. Not bad. The she is always right, says Rudy for $10. That's beautiful. Somebody else in the
Let's move.
Named, it was a,
I'm on.
6.6.
Yeah!
Let's hear it. For the 6.6% of the female audience in neurotic. Isaac.
Yeah!
Videos, but how just it's better. She said, fantasy. We are now watching fantasy. It's a new genre. Fantasy. The she is always right. Well done. Is it just me, or does all Hollywood writing feel like it's done by toddlers? Even in the 80s movies like Big Trouble in Little China had better everything. Big Trouble in Little China is a freaking classic and has some of the best dialogue and the best cadence and the best direction of dialogue I've seen in a film. It's an art form. The lines, how they're delivered, how funny it is, but like, it's not my favorite movie of all time. It's in my top 5. It is one of the coolest movies ever made. Period. That thing is just cool, beginning to end. Heretic Country for $10. I just love you, man. I look at you. Do you ever cover how Amazon did this Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time as well, especially with lesbian friends relationship? I can't because I don't know the source material, but I can direct you to somebody, a couple of guys who covered it and destroyed it, and that will be Shad and Brooks from Shadiversity and our boy Disparu, who's just blowing up right now, and Lady Greenmaster. All three of them familiar with Wheel of Time. I recommend you go to those channels. Need some help. It's cathartic. How excited am I for the new Willow series? It does look good. I'm glad you're excited. Here's one for 5 Canadian pesos. I was older when I saw Willow, and I was totally let down because I thought it was going to be like a Val Kilmer movie. So when I saw it, I'm like, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. Not a big fan of it, though. I'm an old guy. Tennessee movie, and not, I didn't get that much out of it. What? I mean, it's not terrible. Never thought I'd be stoked to see Game of Thrones show over Lord of the Rings. What a time to be alive. Much love to you and the rest of the fandom. Menace, thank you. Ligma Patient for $10. Thank you. Yeah, it's unreal. Like Mahler and I will message each other. I can't wait for Sunday. It's weird. It's weird. It can go south on us. It can. It's not as good as like the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones were, but it has potential to be better. Well, multiple. I think it has potential to have a better ending, which is insane. They should make the Giles of Ham, says Christopher Miller, for $2. Wish me a happy birthday. Is there any hope for Rings of Power? Carl M for $2. Happy birthday. How old are you? Yeah, happy birthday. You made it. Congratulations.
Hope you can swim, pirate scum! That's how the real Eagle Bearer deals with pirates! One crew.
Butchered the
Let's
lore
go
so
get
much
paid.
it can be ignored. Big Steve from 99, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I'm gonna point it out anyway because it's fun. But you're right. It's like utterly pointless at this point. If you make what $2 Australian, that's Guy Ladriel's O face.
Yeah!
Sorrento Thomas, 499. These guys say
Come
that
on.
Sauron was the falling star guy. They insinuated it, but it's not. That's
Yeah!
it's a wizard. It's most definitely a wizard. Keep up the good work, Springs from Hungary, and that's Ocean's Defense Forces.
Yeah!
Oh, it's the Huffington Post from Hungary. Thank you, Hungarian. Hey, hail to Hungary. Hungary just passed some pro-baby laws. You don't even know what those are here, dude.
Ella.
So that's great. Pro-maternity laws. Like, hey, have some babies. I love that. I love that.
Did you hear about the new barracks being built?
Really?
Those guys. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up by.
Ah!
Oh,
Even
why-
better!
oh, okay, so
I thought the
Sebastian
gods
Howard,
might have
Tudor says,
forsaken
why did you
Sparta.
tell
What
us
do you
to
need?
remember
Those
arrows?
filthy
Oh,
Athenians
you
have
wanna
been...
pay off with that?
You have my... Excellent.
When Arendir, Don Lemonless, evades the elves, right? So he's running all night. He runs into the wall. Theo's injured.
Last conquest battle for now, and then we'll take a break.
For Sparta!
staying up till this anyway. And I will catch you later. Oh, we were gonna play something. I should end up with that. I did promise that. See if I can find it really quick. Yes, got it. Let's see. We can share this. It's a good thing to go out on. Enjoy. By the way, you can purchase on it's Amazon. You can also go on eBay and get the physical copies of the BBC's Lord of the Rings radio series. It's freaking fantastic. It's fantastic if you haven't checked it out. This is fun. Dramatization and joy. Oh, damn it! Ah, shit! It's gonna echo on you. I had that all set up too. You need to do it properly. Now, enjoy. Did the enemies make these paths to Weathertop? No, this path.
You're the only survivor.
They
What happened?
We came.
What of your captain?
Took him.
I'll get him.
Make that.
Dozens of Access Media articles with essentially the same headline calling fans racist, and even Dinosaur Legacy Broadcast Television chiming in with Whoopi Goldberg and the terminally unfunny Trevor Noah.
There are critics who are saying they were too woke by adding, yes, adding diverse characters. Are you telling me black people can't be fake people too? Is that what you're telling me?
Alright, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back later. Peace out.